Stephen Bradford.
Round 2 with Leslie Charleson. Come on down. Let me wink at you and blow you a kiss.
So one of the most interesting things about being a recurring character on the show is the joys of seeing other people's dressing rooms. And so when I started on this show, I was recurring, and I have since become recurring once again. And I got to say, your dressing room is one of my favorite to be placed in for a variety of reasons. It's close to the front door. It's got a window.
Back item 18 Kellys.
It's very pleasant in all respects.
Yep.
But your decor is amazing.
No, he loves it. He loves getting your room.
But the great thing is, it's like a slice of what Leslie has been interested in, what she's interested in. Like it's a nice view into your interests. So for the people, there is the thing that first greets you as you walk in on the right is one of Don Henley's platinum records. So can we start there? Like, I want to talk about your musical interest because we talked about Elvis a little bit, and I want to talk about that. But Don Henley, how did you end up with one of his platinum records?
I actually don't know. I think it was somebody that worked with him got it.
Yeah.
For me, and I'd have to go back.
Okay.
But it wasn't, make some phone calls.
Oh, okay. But you're an Eagles fan?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So that was kind of a cool get. For you
that was a very cool get. Yeah, I've gone to all their concerts and traveled. Followed them around.
Oh wow,
awesome!
And loved them for years and years and years.
So yeah, when you're on a hit TV show, you can go to fun things. Like is there anything that you remember in those days? Like wow, I can't believe I got to do that. Like in that respect, do you know what I mean?
Oh, you mean got in something special because of who you are?
Yeah, or because of GH at the time, or
because of. I think there were a couple of things that I know. A friend of mine used to call, and
sure,
she would get me in.
Sure.
Because I wasn't going to call him. Do you have any idea who I am?
Well, that's always the worst.
Have you?
Ken Schreiner's the only one who does that with absolutely no.
This is Scotty Baldwin. Who?
Scotty Baldwin.
I play
he
Scotty
used
Baldwin.
to do that on airplanes all the time.
To get bumped to first?
To get bumped to first.
Oh, sure. We've all done that. I have no shame. I used to do that, too.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But I used to call as my own publicist.
I was going to say, I've always had the idea to maybe do that, but I've never had the guts to do it.
What do you got to lose?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of pride, I suppose.
No pride. No pride at this point?
I mean...
Jackal? You have some pride left? Come on, man.
But you're an Elvis fan too. Now that's been since forever.
Since forever, since a little girl.
Okay, and yeah.
I did get to meet him once.
What?
You did?
I did.
Wow.
I did, and it was
Where?
Because of Love Is May Splendor thing. Donna and I got to kind of negotiate. Like hair pieces and nighttime shows out here. Donna was playing a nun. She hated that, which, and I was the bad girl, which is, of course, much more fun.
Oh, of course,
Sure.
yeah.
So we got to do a lot of our own asking for what we wanted because they needed us.
Oh, yeah,
So-
you had a little leverage.
Yes, thank you. And one of the things was nighttime guest starring on shows out here.
You could request that?
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
amazing.
Those were the days.
Did you keep that membership card and can I borrow it?
I'm sorry, it expired.
In
A
1986.
long time.
I don't think you were born yet, Brandon.
Yeah,
That's funny.
You can't re-up those now.
No.
That is really cool though. So what?
So I did the one about Elvis it was with Bob Conrad called Wild Wild West.
Oh, just that small show called Wild Wild West? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I did a few of those
I know.
shows.
That's amazing.
And I noticed, of course, when I got there, that one of the guys that was doing the stunt work was Red West, which was Elvis's good buddy.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so I became welded to his hip for the duration of the shoot. Finally, he had to relent and say that Elvis was shooting at Paramount. So he said, okay, when we're done shooting Friday, follow me over.
Yeah.
Because you will anyway.
Because I would have anyway, yes. And I just remember driving behind him thinking, oh, I'm so adult now. I've grown up. I am not the idiot kid I was. I've got this all under control. And we walked on the stage, and his father, Vernon, was there. And Elvis was shooting. It was Charo was the film.
Oh, wow.
And Ed said, would you like some coffee? And I said, fine. Black, fine. So he brought over some coffee, and we were chatting. He introduced me, and then Elvis finished shooting and came over. And Red said, Elle, I'd like you to meet a little girl. She's working with Bobby Conrad. And Elle, this is Leslie. Leslie, this is Elvis Presley. And with the coffee in my hand, my right hand,
Oh, no.
I extended it to his white jumpsuit with hot coffee, poured it all over him,
No!
and announced his serial number when he was in the Army. And hoped to
Leslie.
God the floor opened up.
And so you disappeared immediately.
And I be swallowed up. I prayed.
Oh, my
I prayed
gosh.
all over his suit.
That's
Hot coffee.
amazing.
Yep.
What did he say? Did he say something cool?
He
Yeah,
was
go-
very hot at the time.
Yeah. He goes, thank you very much.
Bless my soul.
No, thank you very much.
He was very gracious, and he even invited me into his trailer when they were changing his costume.
Okay, mother.
Well, you made this mess. You better clean it up.
Watch out now.
And he invited me to go to Las Vegas, but I declined.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, and had the windshield wipers going all the way back to the Sportsman's Lodge.
Oh, my God.
Why did I say no?
Why did I say no? Wow. Yeah, I invited Bradford to Vegas. He said yes.
Yes, I said, yeah. Yeah. Yes,
That's
please.
pretty amazing. Was he as charming in person as,
He was.
as everyone
He
says?
was very, very nice.
Yeah.
He did a little bit of Love Me Tender, and I mean, I was
Oh
just.
my gosh. This dude
Oh
is
yeah,
a
he
man,
got
bro.
while they were, because they had to get another white copy.
Well, come on. I imagine he's.
So, yeah,
Steve
so
Burton has 20 black T-shirts. I imagine Elvis has 20 white jumpsuits.
He does, but it takes time because it's like a onesie. So you
yeah.
got to get it off. And then he was like, hammering my guitar. Love me tender. Then he just played you a song while he was getting his little thing dry cleaned. It was amazing. I love it. That's amazing because we went to Graceland, right, for this convention,
Yes.
right?
And
they just,
I didn't.
and hopefully you can this year. But they were it was just so great to talk to people who had such insight on him and what a gracious person he was, and that he would just spend countless hours with fans at the gate.
Yeah.
At the gate,
Yeah.
they'd go by and he'd be on his tractor
Or his horse.
or his horse. He'd come up to the gate and sit there for an hour and just talk to people, take pictures, autographs, and then go back. It was pretty amazing. The king, he's the king for a reason.
Absolutely.
King of rock and roll, baby.
Absolutely.
So-
and I don't see
I
that you gave
yes,
to me and then I gave you back.
I have it.
You
it.
do.
Oh, we have our
Your soundproofing.
yeah, we have our
thing.
soundproofing up. But I never ever have made my room to stay, and the only time I ever really did was at Young and the Restless, and then I left.
Yeah.
So
It's not good luck for you.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it again.
Well, that's the way I kind of felt. I mean, I did it first when we got the studios. We all ran in and
Decorated.
Made a home.
it was the dressing room with the window.
Oh,
yeah, it was a big deal.
I mean,
Took me a while
this
to
is
get over here.
Rodeo Drive.
Took me a
for
while.
Sure.
Yeah, it took me a while.
So there was a lot of fighting and slugging it out for that.
Well, but
Yeah.
at that point there weren't cell phones, so you didn't need to worry about cell service.
No.
You just like natural light.
Yeah.
The windows were
Yeah.
great, and when I first got on the show, I would hang out with Kin a lot, and we go play basketball at lunch and stuff, and go eat and whatever. And,
Ken Shriner playing basketball?
oh, he's pretty good at basketball.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember we were coming back from the commissary, and toward the end of the row here, it was it was Lynn. I don't know if Anna's always been over here, but I thought it'd be funny to moon Lynn Herring
Oh, God.
and put my nice,
well-toned 20-something buttocks on
against the window, press some ham, as they say.
Oh, whose was it?
It was Anna Lee. And she was like, "Oh, that was very nice."
She loved that.
Oh, she loved it. She was like,
Our little
"Stay right there."
geriatric slut
I love
here.
it. She was amazing. She was amazing.
Well, speaking of windows, because when we were doing Splendid Thing, it was at the CBS building, and there wasn't a window in the building. I mean, you either had to call the news department and ask about the weather, because we arrived in darkness and we left in darkness.
Oh, sure, right. Yeah.
So we had no idea what went on in between.
Well, you didn't need the weather forecasting because you weren't going to experience it anyway.
No,
Yeah.
Wow. And
not one window. So it was. This is nice.
Yeah,
this is nice.
This
Little
is
song.
very pleasant.
So what other passions, Les, that people can kind of peek behind the curtain? We know you're into horses.
Yeah.
Like, against your better judgment. You love horses.
Do you own boats too?
I
Horses
did.
I did. Horses and boats and a money pit house. It was
I got them all.
It was a trifecta for her.
Yeah. If you want, just pick anything
Yeah.
that is going to lose money. Yeah. Okay.
So what's the horse? I mean, I know you've had horses ever since because my wife dabbled for a little while, and we kind of talk about that. And she was over in Burbank with
We'd
you.
see her at the Equestrian
Yeah.
Center. I have been involved with Andalusians, and they're a Spanish breed. They originally used for bullfighting.
Oh, wow.
So they are
Sheesh.
known for their wonderful temperament.
Yeah.
You have to be if you're in there with the bull.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're trained not to be flight animals. They have to stick around, literally. And then
Well, that's good because most horses are fairly flighty
yeah.
when it comes to stuff.
And that's what happened with people. When I got my very first one, there were only 200 in the country, and Spain did not really want to let us have.
Didn't want to share them.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So it was. People wanted. Then they figured out who the Andalusian was and what a good mind they had, and not only and gorgeous.
Yeah.
So they wanted to breed it with everything. Breed it
Oh.
with
Lucky horses.
So they started.
So we have a bunch of mutts running around.
You have a bunch of Aztec mutts, and then like Bo Derek and another friend of mine.
Wait, hold on.
Arr?
Wait, let's put on the brakes for a minute. Bo Derek's your friend?
No, and another friend.
Okay,
Oh.
great.
Not Bo Derek.
Funny, I always picture Bo Derek riding a horse. That's when I picture her. I
she
picture her
did.
riding a horse.
Well,
I
she
don't know.
started then breeding in color to the Andalusians are basically supposed to be gray. They're born brown
Okay.
and then turn gray.
Okay.
So now you get them in all colors,
Right.
and they get them in all different half breed.
Sure.
half Andalusian.
Yeah.
That's what you call.
So did you show? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've shown for a long time.
My very first one, we showed, and she and I did the Rose Parade 5 times.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Well, it is awesome because that sucker is 5.5 miles long.
I mean, that's a lot for a horse, first of all.
Yes.
Especially with the crowd noise and all the
Well,
different...
on the concrete too, right?
And
Is
the
that-
concrete.
And the
Yeah.
concrete, but all the different noises and the stuff flying around and all that.
And the kids every year try to come up with
Oh,
something like
no.
silly string.
Yeah. Oh, that
Or-
wouldn't be a good idea, sir.
silly string.
Oh, yeah. That
I thought
one
you were
year.
going to say they bring like carrots.
No.
No,
they want
no.
to torment the horse.
Yes.
They want to. Yeah, they want to see a
Yes.
stampede, and
Have you been bucked off?
no,
You have not. That's a testament to you
I have not.
and the type of horse you ride because
Yes.
I was bucked off my wife's horse many times.
Really.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like monkeys and I don't like horses. I'm just not a fan.
Did you get bugged
The-
off a monkey?
Well, when I was riding this monkey
That-
named
that-
Jackal.
That was your first problem. That was your first problem.
No,
trying to
but
ride the monkey.
it's you have to. A lot of these horses you have to train and
Yes.
and
And
like
speaking of
for
that,
showing.
Yes.
Not just
Oh,
for riding, but for showing. So.
and
But go ahead.
I've gone one step further into the Leslie is crazy
You have.
category. I have a young colt, an Andalusian colt,
Yes.
that did come from directly from Spain.
On
KLM.
On a plane.
KLM.
KLM.
On plane.
He's
So
a very
did you get
strong
him?
swimmer.
Did you get him business coach or first class?
He does go cargo.
So
Is
so
that dangerous to fly a horse on an airplane?
they must do it all the time.
They do it all the time.
Okay.
You see the
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes people here will go show in Europe
Oh,
and
gosh.
send their horses over
and
to show.
they have special
Right.
cargo
Airlines, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
he
that's
came
crazy.
over.
So how young is this young guy?
he's 3.
3. And how's he doing?
So he's got a saddle on and he's been ridden. He's working
Okay.
on steering at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So do you just love it?
What I really love is this is the first horse that I have been able to see from scratch. Start
Yeah.
from scratch.
Yes, that's true.
And train and not have anything interfere or
Right.
have to undo anything with the animal. And I'm very lucky because he is a sweet boy. And
Despite not liking horses, me, I mean, not
Yeah.
it's not my thing. My wife did it; was great. But the thing I have to say is, I loved being around the stables and the horse shows, and because you get to travel some beautiful places,
yeah.
and it's almost a reprise for you where you can go and just kind of calm your head and just it has to be really serene for you to be able to go do that and just be out there.
The good thing about it was, and at the height when GH was really nuts. I
Yeah.
mean, is to be able to go to the barn because a horse doesn't care
Sure.
what you do,
Right.
Yeah,
and you've got to check all of that stuff
all that stuff.
at the stall.
Yes,
Right.
Because they'll know,
they know,
and they will let you know if you're wound up, and if you're
and you affect them.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my trainer will say, if I've come in and I've groused her out, and he said, "Well, you're not getting on the horse today."
Wow.
So
go.
it might, because Cherie would get very anxious.
Yeah.
Get a lot of anxiety before showing, and he's like, "Dude, you got to chill out. You got to chill because your horse is doing exactly what
Goes
you're doing."
right through that saddle
Isn't
and
it
the
crazy?
reins right into them.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
pretty cool.
It's lots of lessons to learn.
Right.
One, it's a completely different discipline
Right.
than you have here.
Yeah.
And this is about a one-on-one with a large animal.
Yeah.
But it's a whole different. I mean, you can get so wrapped up in your head doing what we do in places like this, and in a situation like that, it's feel, it's connection, and you got to be out of your head a little bit, right? Like
Well, like I said, I went at
yeah,
those times I could literally go across the river, go around the golf course
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right there.
in the hour, and we could gallop, and it
Yeah.
was just like I could come back and be a nice person.
yeah. What a
That's
what a
amazing.
nice contrast to be able to have different
That's-
parts of your day. Wow.
Yeah,
So,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
it's good.
I mean, either that or drugs, I guess. I mean, one of the two, right?
Yeah, or both. No. Beep. Can you beep that out, Bradford? Beep.
Some people had
What are you
horses,
talking
some
about?
people did this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I always tell about my first day here, Les. It was the end of Gloria Monty, her last year, and I wasn't contract, but I came and I'm at the front thing. They're like, okay, go to room, whatever it was, and as soon as I turn the corner, the door kicks open and it's Tony Geary, like kicks open because he was upset about something, just kicked open. I go, oh gosh, there's Luke. Okay, I'll just get to my room. Just shut up. Just go to your room. But it was just so fun because I know that was at the tail end of your guys' run. It was 91, so you guys had a decade of craziness,
yes,
which
of
was
craziness
awesome.
and the Eckers
But I was
and
the Snoresville, and so it was cool to be able to it was just funny that was my first day of Tony.
It's
Geary.
iconic, yeah.
Boom.
The Quartermain back and forth, did that take long to develop, or was it there right away? Like, how did you guys find? I mean, because when I think of you and Stuart and Jane, and like I just the quips, that way of interacting, did it just come naturally to you guys, or did it develop?
it developed.
Yeah.
It developed. David Lewis was the best.
Oh yeah,
The best of the best
Yeah.
because I think he got the true essence of Edward Quartermain.
yeah.
I mean, Edward was a cutthroat. I
Yeah.
mean, and that whole business where Tracy, he fakes a heart attack and Tracy lets him.
Oh right.
That
Yeah.
was that whole storyline. That was that was, I think, Doug Marland's writing, and that was the little foxes. That was getting insidious, and then with Stuart and Monica.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah,
Whatever.
sure. But with Alan and Monica, and they're fighting back and forth.
Yeah.
The whole thing, it
just worked.
It worked because you had the people that could do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Bless John Ingle, but he didn't want to be a bad guy.
Yeah, and you know,
sure.
and John was.
It just wasn't in his DNA.
Yeah, it was obviously John was great, right? It obviously sweetest guy ever.
At that point, though, were you guys out of it? Because by the time I came along, when I saw the Quartermain living room stuff, with Bergen and everybody, it was more lighthearted. The jabs were not meant to be insidious. It wasn't true drama. It was like,
it was a different light.
It was like No Coward. It was different.
Yeah,
and it wasn't always like that, right?
No.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
Even when I came on at the first in '91, David Lewis was still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I got to see David Lewis, and that dude was a freaking. You talk about an Iceman. That dude. He was a sweet guy
with a wink.
Yeah.
Which was so wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's hard. It's like Brianna, who's on the show, who plays the commissioner.
Yeah.
The sweetest girl ever. She embodies sweetness.
Yeah.
And constantly, I'm like, fight. You better fight. You're the commissioner. Freaking knock us out in the scene. Kick our ass. Let's see it. And the same thing with what you were saying with John Ingle.
Yeah.
He was just such a sweet man. It's sometimes hard. Sometimes hard to play that cutthroat character.
Well, he played more of a curmudgeon, like a lovable curmudgeon.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
almost kind of like, oh, Edward.
Right.
When the other Edward would be like, oh, Edward, don't kill me.
Yeah.
Well, because
exactly.
But in that time, he was still the patriarch of the business, right?
Yeah.
Rather than just the guy that complained about those kids.
Yeah.
Right.
I just remember Stuart and I. When David said he was going to hang it up, and said, "Don't, you can't go, you can't go."
Yeah.
And he said, "What do you want me to do? Get out there and make a fool of myself?"
Oh.
Yeah.
Because he was having trouble with lines.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And what could
good
you say?
for him though.
Yeah.
Good for him. You know that he was like, "Hey, I had a great run."
Yep.
And
he knew instead of having to fumble and And he did not want to. I mean, he was just personally, he just didn't want to have that.
He was awesome. He was such a sweet guy to me too. So nice. Everybody was so nice to. I mean, John. It was John, David, and then you guys. You and Stuart, and it was just great because you get the best advice.
Yeah.
You guys work so hard, and we saw it, and I saw that, and then you guys were like, you come in, don't dick around. We're not here to dick around. We're here to do some work. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we really worked together. It was getting around and let's get this off the ground as much as we, meet in the green room. Let's run these. Let's see what we can do. And that was part of it too. That Stuart and I, being good friends, which was great. We would work to help each other.
Yeah.
I would say many times, Stuart, if you find it funny, it's not going to be funny. You got to stop finding this so funny.
Yeah, Stuart was always so great, and so he was just a big clown.
But if he got angry, he was a big man. He could scare the daylights out of me.
Yes, and everybody.
Didn't take much. It didn't take much when he.
Man.
He
threw a fit and stormed out. I remember chasing him up around the commissary. Gotta come back, Stuart.
Yeah, that's funny.
And you're.
But now, hold on. Before you go, Brad. So I see on Twitter that you and Wally and Kin and who else went to have lunch with Stuart?
Jackie
Z, right? Just recently.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So he's doing pretty good.
He's doing pretty good.
Good.
He's doing pretty good.
I know the fans think about him a lot and ask a lot.
I think about him a lot, and he's very, very happy where he is.
Good. That's awesome.
And it's
good to hear.
We've got to do that
next time. Yeah, I told Kin,
but
he can't remember. I'm like, Kin, you gotta help a brother out, man. I want to go.
That was a funny trip with Kin and I. with his foot in a cast.
Oh yeah, right.
And me driving.
And you're driving,
and I'm
and
driving.
you guys are on a horse. No.
And he knew exactly where the Sagebrush Cantina was, except he didn't.
Oh,
Yes. Except he
so
didn't. Right.
We're driving all over hell and
Oh,
back,
gosh.
screaming at each other.
That's
With no
amazing.
cell service.
With no
Finally,
cell service.
I said, it can't be up top. I know, I've been there before.
Yeah.
Finally, we
no.
get it. We're like 3 blocks away when we finally discovered. But
Oh,
all he
man.
was doing the whole time was, I think this is where Billy and I crashed our bikes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was that curve. I
That's
don't know.
so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Billy Warlock, by the way.
Oh, he
Yeah.
and Ken used to. Are we talking about
They used to-
motorcycles?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to roll around a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh,
So.
that sounds. That
Well,
sounds
were you going to ask something
Well,
before I interrupted?
I mean, the relationship between Monica and Tracy. You guys worked alongside each other for just almost as long as you and Stuart.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean because that was a fun. The dynamic of that relationship was so fun. Was that a fun dynamic to find, or did you guys just always have that?
Oh, it came easy snorking with Jane.
She was a fireball, man. She was.
Yeah.
She'd come in her room and it's like, oh, Tracy's here.
Yeah. So that pretty much took off from moment one. And,
Yeah.
and as long as again, we're as good as the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't, you
Yeah.
know, it's so difficult when the writing isn't good. You have to work so much harder
Sure.
to try to find
Yeah.
the little stuff. But when it's good, it's very good, and you
Yeah.
can
Just go.
work and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a nice ride.
It is a nice ride.
Absolutely. How is your life now? Like, how in terms of, like, are there things that you are? Do you have more time to yourself than you did before? And how do you like it? Do you? How do you fill your time? And what makes you happy these days?
Well, of course, the horses going
Sure. Yeah. Is that
That-
daily?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost daily.
Well, they cost enough. You might as well get some
Yeah,
freaking
get your
enjoyment out of this thing. Good gosh.
Because those vet bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the feeding
You've
and the
got to
training
go over
and the
and make
boarding.
sure you don't need to call the vet.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah.
I hope you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
God, but
Big needles, right? Horses, big needles.
and big pills and
Yeah.
all that.
The horse pill isn't just a.
Everything that you might take, triple, double, quadruple it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like an intravenous anything.
Oh,
Did you ever
man.
have any mix-ups with tranquilizers or anything?
One for you, one for me, and one for you, and now I'm almost dead. That's
Well,
funny.
we do have a chiropractor that comes occasionally and works on the horses, and then has B12 shots.
Oh,
Okay, I'll
yeah.
take one of those. Yeah, totally. Shoot me up. Let's go.
Yeah, no, Steve has talked to me about the
Yeah, I
benefits
love
of those.
B12.
I will say, when I talk to people, when we've been on the road sometimes too,
Yeah.
that being the only person that never left this show,
Yeah.
never have done another one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all alone.
I'm all alone.
I mean, I don't have any stories.
You're an
of-
anomaly.
I-
You have enough stories from here, though.
That's true, but
I
there
mean-
are times when I thought, "Gosh, I should have wandered over done someplace else." But
I mean, I guess the only thing that it does is it gives you a new perspective. You know, gives you maybe like, hey, I get to play somebody new or do something else.
Yeah.
And here's some other theater group that has been doing this for a long time. Let me go in there and see what fun we can have. You know, so that's what I enjoyed about it was a new challenge.
yes,
You know,
exactly.
but you know, you can't knock being here for
No,
that long too either.
Yeah, I never looked at it as a negative.
Well, I've
Yeah.
always said it's because I have no sense of direction anyway. I've always lived close to here.
Yeah, this was easy.
Yeah.
and I know the way.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well,
But in terms of like your as Monica's storylines changed, and would you find like, oh gosh, creatively, I'd love to do something, or I have this energy that it's not being fulfilled by this. So, and is it always been the horses, or do you write, or do you?
I got into traveling.
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine that I grew up with in Connecticut, we all of a sudden, about 10 years ago, said,
Let's
"You
just.
want to do something?
Yeah.
We should do something."
Yeah.
That's cool.
And the first place that wasn't on either one of our lists, but she went to Northwestern, and they have tours and group stuff. So we would get the brochures. She would.
Yeah.
And she called me up one day and she said, "What about China?" And I went, "Okay." She never expected me to say okay.
Really?
Yeah.
And so that was sort of the beginning.
Wow.
And since then, we've gone to countries that seem to close the door right after we leave.
No more. We've had enough. Thank you.
No more.
China, Egypt.
Yeah, no, you're
yes.
going next. You're going to the Grand Canyon, and you're going to stay here. No,
Yeah. Well, no, it sounds like your timing was good then.
Yes.
Yeah.
The traveling's awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
And it's been something that we, want to keep doing while we can.
Well, sure, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We hit Machu Picchu at the right time.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Well, and you also, I know this firsthand. You like dogs, and my dog, who is now 11, is thanks to you. So do you still have Maltese? And
No, I don't have Maltese. I have a Tibetan Terrier.
Okay.
And I have a tortoise.
Yes.
Like
I
a
have a
legit tortoise.
Yes. This is.
I have a legit tortoise.
We probably should get into the. Listen, here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. Maybe they do. Leslie is a little accident prone. Okay, she's had. So that's why I asked if she's ever gotten bucked off the horse. No. The most dangerous animal in the world to probably be around, but she finds a way to break other things by doing other things, like trying to save her tortoise.
Yes.
Just recently.
Oh, right. Oh,
with the hand.
Okay.
Yeah. People can't see right now, but she just flipped Bradford off
I did.
with her broken
That's
hand.
the finger I broke. Yeah.
So just tell the tortoise story real quick.
The tortoise story. Well, the tortoise story is he came with the house 25 years ago. All of a sudden, I looked out in the backyard and I just thought there was a rock moving, and it was a little tiny thing.
Slap in your face like I got to come down from these drugs.
Yeah,
I
you're like these shrooms are amazing.
Homegrown. So he could fit on the male scale. Now he's about 15 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's a California desert tortoise. He is registered because they're endangered.
Okay.
And
is there any breeding? Can you breed them? Breed them tortoises?
As one of the tortoise experts said, yes, you can if you want to. And because I said, does he need a girlfriend?
Right, sure.
And he said to me, have you ever looked out over the Mojave Desert? Yeah. Have you ever seen a herd of tortoise? They don't need
I
a girlfriend. So he's been fine.
Yeah.
Right.
And he has a tank where he stays inside most of the time, but then he goes out, and we've had to secure everything because they burrow.
Yeah.
Except this one time where he decided to climb up the damn hill, and I caught him, and he was on shaky ground. And I crawled up after him, stuck him under my right arm.
Right.
So he wouldn't break the shell.
Oh, gosh, because if they break the shell, is that it for them?
That could be curtains.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That could be curtains. And we both slid down, and I put my left hand behind me to break the fall. And,
And it broke.
and I'm left-handed. So it's...
that's rough.
That's not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not good.
Is he a nice tortoise, or is he just
He's not loyal.
He's not.
But he's not snapping at you.
No, they don't snap.
Do they like affection? Do they like? What do they want to do? What do they want from you?
You just asked if.
Well, if I met a turtle, I'd want to cuddle with it. That's just what I would want.
They're not cuddling.
They're not cuddling.
No.
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 You're not cuddling with the turtle,
But
Bradford.
they're unlike a horse. They're a lot cheaper. Upkeep department.
Well, yeah. What do you feed
There's
them?
a fortune in lettuce.
Yeah. Right. What do you,
Lettuce?
He gets kale.
Oh wow. Oh, he's California. So
yeah,
he likes
of course.
friggin'
Right.
kale.
Yeah, he's watching his
They
weight.
like hibiscus. They like dandelions.
Oh,
He likes blueberries, sugar snap peas.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
This dude's living it up.
I-
I'm going to come over. I'm getting kind of hungry.
I figured he'd be like eating like little pellets or something. No.
No, he wants
Some
not if you're a pet of Leslie's.
No.
Okay.
You eat from Whole Foods
Maybe
only.
some tortoises somewhere eat pellets, but not at your
They
house.
don't. They usually it's a
usually-
mixed. Yeah.
Right.
And
a mixed
the other
salad,
good
yeah.
thing is they hibernate about 5 or 6 months a year.
Wow,
Is
so
he
you
just
don't
out
see
of
the
sight
guy.
for you? Literally not interact with him for 5 months.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't poop. He doesn't pee. He just.
He's a perfect pet.
Yeah. How'd you get this guy?
No, as I said, he
Came
was there.
Came with the house.
I think the previous owners might have, because they had kids, and they might have gotten him.
Sure.
And he
Right.
escaped.
That's the thing with animals that live that long. I mean, you're going to get like an African gray bird or a desert tortoise. You better put it in your will somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Wow. But so thank you for my Yorkshire Terrier. Huckleberry, as I said, is 11, and it was my girlfriend and I had just moved in. My now wife we had just moved in together, and she was living in LA for the first time. I would go off to work all the time, and we're like, this seems to be a good opportunity to have a dog. Like this would be good. And Leslie comes in and says, "Does anybody want puppies?" I forget.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't breeding them.
Yeah.
It was a friend who.
Yeah,
did
so
this
you got
for me.
Huck. Good old Huck.
good old
Good old Huck. I know Huck.
And of course I was like, maybe let me talk to and so then we're like, we'll come take a look, which is the dumbest thing anyone ever says. Let's go look.
Let's go look at the puppies.
But we didn't have any of the necessary supplies, so because we were like, oh, we'll just look, and then if we like one, we'll come back later. But of course, we just took them, and started our ill. We should have talked to you about training, because if you can train a horse, you can train a Yorkie probably.
No, you can't train Yorkies.
Yeah, and it did not go well.
So Les, I know we're here at work and we got to wrap up, but is there any story that you want to share before? If there's not, it's all good. We love you and appreciate your time and just sitting down with us. It's been amazing.
Oh, it's so nice.
But if there's anything, because I know there's a ton of Quartermain stories somewhere. There's something.
I'll think about one about 15 minutes after.
Yeah, pretty much.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
Of course.
Yeah.
This has been fun. It's been a nice walk back.
Oh, thank you, Les.
In so many ways. I do it again.
We'll have you again. But I just want to say that I love you, and I always have, and it's such a pleasure anytime we get to work together, because moments that we talk about a lot that just happen that aren't written always happen with us for some weird reason. Always does.
It's magic.
And I love it, and I thank you so much.
And I thank you.
Thank you, Mama.
Oh man,
it isn't amazing. I mean, it's so amazing. I love hearing the stories from back in the day. Those are always my favorite when we get some veterans on here.
Well, not just that. I just love hearing her taking a car ride with Kin. Like, that's a brand new story, and yet it feels like
that's true. You're right. That's funny
story. Isn't that amazing?
It's awesome. Yeah, it's so cool, man.
Well, it's gosh, I've had so many conversations with her over the years, but short conversations, and I've always known she had a good sense of humor, but I didn't know the extent of it.
Oh yeah, dude. She's a feisty one too.
I mean, I love it. When we started episode 1 and she immediately went with "go to your room," I was like, "Oh, this is great."
Totally.
This is great.
But how amazing for me to have Stuart and Leslie as my TV parents, man. Good gosh.
It's so cool, man.
So amazing. Yeah. So
and
cool.
I know we always talk about the uniqueness of our medium, but the fact that you come in your 20s and have these great role models and great people and just great humans to grow up around.
Yeah.
And then 30 years later, 20 something years later,
20.
But I mean, they are, a part of your strange artist family. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely, they are for sure.
And that is, I mean, no shows last for this long.
I know, it's crazy, dude. And that's what's so cool about it is yesterday I did a video for the supporters, right? About kind of living in the past. You meet people who live in the past,
right?
They're always talking about the past and never really talking about present time or enjoying the moment or looking toward the future. But I have such fond memories looking back, and I can be so grateful and appreciative of those memories because it was once in a lifetime for me, and it's like, once you can kind of come to grips with there's going to be seasons in your life, that are special. And then you move on and it's time for a new season. Like when, with us with Port Chuck.
Oh, sure.
We talked about that a lot this weekend, when we were on the road, but it's like, we had such an amazing 5 years. It was like so amazing, and we still talk about it. We had so much fun.
We talk about it all the time.
I know, but it's not like we're like, oh no, we got to, do it again. We're living in the past.
Exactly. It's not like, oh man,
it was a great season for us.
When our lives were so much better when we were doing that.
And now
we can look at it with just fondness and not,
and now we're in another amazing season.
That's the thing
of our lives that I never thought we would be.
Turn, there is a season. Turn. Yeah.
Brad's been drinking. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
But, anyway, man, it's just so fun to be able to do this and have guests like Leslie, and it's just awesome.